Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for clicking, watching. Today, oh shit, the wind's moving my phone. Um, I'm kind of out of my video groove. I'm outside today, as you can see, a rainy day in Chicago. But this is gonna be my Molly review video. Today makes a month since I took it. Took it February 18th. And it's recommended to wait a month before you do it again, Molly. But I'm not gonna do it again anytime soon. This is just the review. So coming up, like I felt the drop of it like start hitting me like in one breath, like in a few seconds. Like I started feeling it kicking in. It had a similar effect to acid, like when it's like hitting you and like you kind of feel everything enhance, like your breath, like in one breath. I felt that shit kicking in. Kind of felt like slow motion. Everything got brighter. It kind of felt like a filter was put over my vision, but the feeling I had was more intense, like in my chest. Like I could feel like my heart like opening up, I guess. Like a lot of blocked emotions I had inside of me were like coming out, like internally. Shit that I kind of keep bottled up. Not that I try to, it's just conditioning over the years in my life growing up. But it helped me see a whole bunch of like traumatic, like fucked up situations and memories I had from the past, like look at them from another perspective instead of holding on to like resentment and like pain and all that shit. And that was in that moment of the actual Molly hitting me. I'm not a very well, I'm an emotional person, but I like everyone is, but I'm kind of stoic in my approach to emotions. Like I don't let them get to me. I try not to make any decisions when I'm emotional. But it kind of helped. Well, it helped me in the end. Now that I'm looking at it, like get rid of that mask, I want to say, or that like blockage I had. And that's during the trip. I want to call it a trip because it was kind of a trip. But during the Molly high, I took too much of too much of it. Like I took a point 0.2 of it, and the recommended dose is like 0.125 to like 0.15. But I kind of took it blindly and stupid. You know, I kind of, with these videos, I try to recreate like how I was in high school and how most of us were in high school. Like you didn't really give a fuck what you were doing. Like there was no test case. Like you just had to trust your plug and everything. Like testing kits and all that shit was another risk factor. Like ordering that shit to your crib or a friend's crib, like their parents finding that shit and everything. Like you just did it and hope for the best. Like at the end of the day, this is more like safety precautions in general for like anyone looking up anyone else's experience taking these drugs and shit. And they're not really, well, they're drugs, but there's studies that have been going on for decades now and believed to be now to have like beneficial like properties to them besides just like being a drug and people wanting to get high. And that's kind of my exploration of that, because I'm pretty fucked up internally from growing up and shit, just like every other person growing up in a city environment. Like even if you're not directly involved, there's some like secondhand smoke you could get off living in the city and shit. You know, friend, family, can't like it still affects you even if you're not directly involved. And you know, as you get older, you might end up getting directly involved. But that's beside the point. the first week after was pretty bad. I had a hangover, probably because I took too much. Um, Even slightly too much can give you a hangover. Who knows? Even if I took a proper amount, it might have still given me that hangover, that Molly hangover. But there's other effects, like it varies person to person after. If you don't get a hangover, you're lucky because that shit was ass. Like I slipped into like I don't want to say minor depression because it was pretty like heavy. I just know how to like manage it now. After growing up with that shit, as a kid, I always grew up depressed. Like it is what it is, but I developed like mechanisms and routines to like get me out of the slumps and shit. Like I'll never be at the worst ever, hopefully. But I did slip like first few days. I had a like numbness that was kind of bothering me because I'm already pretty numb, but it's like at my control type shit. But um, like towards the end of the week, I started my emotions were just all over the place. Like I already have mood swings internally, like regularly. But like I said again, like I'm kind of used to it. I know how to manage myself. I know like the causes of all my shit, and that's why I remain like stoic and just at ease. I don't be tripping, but um, yeah, for a good 1 or 2 weeks after I took it, I was down. Like I didn't feel like doing shit. Like, and when I'm in those moments, I don't like to tell people. I like to inform people, but then there's some people that are like, "Oh, like you good? Like let me give you this like comfort and shit." Like that doesn't work for me personally. The only thing that works for me is like just being on my own, me sorting out my own shit, um, thinking everything through rationally, logically, until I'm good. Like I know I'm gonna be out of it. I know I'm gonna be good, but that's just me. Like some people probably get comforted with people like giving them empathy and all that shit, sympathy, whatever. But that's just not for me. Like, it just doesn't work for me for my own reasons. But overall, a month later, I want to say it did benefit me. Um, I didn't really enjoy the actual high at that moment. Um, but like I had seen in some videos too that it helps primarily with like PTSD people. Like that's why I mentioned the giving a new perspective on shit that's fucked you up in the past. Like it kind of helped me get over it, or not get over it, but just be more understanding. Of, like people, like growing up, like people just treating you some type of way, and growing up, I kind of figured like people treat you how they feel internally at the end of the day. So it's up to them to work on whatever it is that they have to sort through in their life to have some type of like stability on treatment of people, respect and everything. But you also can't make people do anything or see your side of shit. Like it is what it is. Time heals and all that shit. I find that to be true, but if would I try it again? I think like might be like a yearly, not even a yearly thing. Like I'm not planning on it, but like if I'm feeling it, if I'm like fuck it, I would. But I'm not going out of my way to like yeah, let's do Somali. I'm not gonna tell anybody to take it unless like I'm gonna give them my experience and why I took it first before I just say yeah, bro, try it. Like oh or no, don't. It's your decision at the end of the day. So yeah, that's my Molly review. I have another like segue title thing to this. Like I've been it's also helped me with like sobriety, help stay sober and like break addiction patterns a little bit. That's the other thing, but it's like a segue into this next part of me being sober now for almost 2 weeks off weed, anything, even like sugar and shit. Like I be really eating healthy as fuck these days. Poverty kind of being one of them, um, but um, but yeah, I haven't been smoking weed like that at all. Like I've been enjoying this sobriety for the past 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks now. I wasn't even trying to keep track. Um, like when, like the day I was sober, I kind of like just do it. Um, I haven't been fiending for it that much. I used to. I had it available a lot. That's why, like, it wasn't even like a fiending thing. It was just because it was around, like, because I had it, and it became a habit for like the past 2 years since Corona hit. Because like, there was a limitation on what you could do, and now that it's like lifting a little bit, there's more room to do shit. I'm a little bit older, a little bit wiser since then. I always try to grow and have new perspectives or just mature willingly, just throughout my life, especially now that I'm like a full-fledged adult and everything is on me and shit. Got nothing to fall back on personally. That might not be you, but that's varying person to person. But yeah, I've been sober. I plan on staying sober for as long as I can right now, because I got introduced to smoking weed when I was 11, turning 12. So now it's been a decade that I've been consistently smoking weed. Like, at first, before I hit high school, like the most I went without smoking it was probably a few months. But even then, that might be a little generous. But like, definitely during high school, it was consistent, like no more than a month not smoking it. I did take breaks, like after high school. Like, I would take 2 weeks break. I tried to hit that consistently, especially when I felt like it was becoming a habit, like a mindless habit. But when, like I said, when Corona hit, I was just like, there's not shit to do. So, like, is there? I got the money for it. Like, come on. But like, I feel like no matter how long you've been smoking, what you say, like, habitually smoking like that is gonna affect you. Like, you're smoking like that for a reason. Like, it's not for no reason. You can say, oh, it's recreational, I just like smoking weed, but I know for sure it's for a reason. Like, psychologically, deep down, whatever. Maybe I feel like there's no way you can't know, but I'm not in everyone's shoes. I can only speak for myself. But where's I going with that? Fuck. But yeah, like, I'm trying to go be as sober as possible as long as I can. Like, right now, a few months, because my brain hasn't been like ingesting some type of like dopamine since I was 11, 12. Like, so I kind of just want to see how I am completely sober. Like, I think in my previous, I was watching a few of my old videos last night, and I mentioned it. Like, I wanted, like, this has been a year, 2 years in the works, and it's happening. I'm glad to see how I'm gonna be, like, down the line, see how long I go. Right now, I'm staying pretty strong, but the only thing I do have planned that I want to do for video and shit, which I've also mentioned before, was the 10 tabs of acid I want to take. But I also want to, like, make sure I'm completely good up here, because literally every time before I've taken it, like, maybe like 1 or 2 times, like for the most part, I was in the best mind state, but I still like trucked through it. Like, I knew I could, like, no matter what happened. It's not a good mentality to have, but if you do, you probably just, you know yourself, and like, I know I'll be good no matter what, how bad the trip is. Even if I lose my mind, like, I know I'll just be good. But I don't recommend that mentality, because I think I had it before I even started taking that shit. But yeah, if anything, I'll make a drug return with the 10 tabs, but I'm not rushing it. When it comes, it comes. Like, I'm not in a rush to get monetized for this shit or anything. Like, I don't even think I could get monetized for this shit, because it's like drug related. But like, it's still definitely an opportunity with the shit I've been doing. Like, I don't want to completely close it without trying, and like, trying to get somewhere with this shit, or if it could benefit in the future. I have another video idea that's probably gonna be coming soon after this, is why I take psychedelics, like my own personal reasons. and because there's like there's been research on it, but there's a lot of it that hasn't been discovered, and I have my own like theories and reasons why I take it after ingesting at least 20 doses of it now. And yeah, I can't wait to come out with that because I have a few like theories and reasons why I take it that I haven't seen other people mention or like bring up in other videos and shit, and I'm just like, huh, like, am I just onto something early or something or what? But yeah, that's the second part of this video. The third segue into this video is today, 4 years ago today, I lost my uncle, one of my uncles, close family. I'm not gonna go into details what happened, but it was a pretty tragic event. I had a dream about him the night before. I'm not trying to like cry and shit, so, but it is a sensitive topic for me. But I had a dream about him. Like, that's crazy. But like the night before, and then I remembered the date that he passed, and it was just like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't even have that shit in mind. I try not to even think about it, because that shit hurt. But I need a second. I'm not trying to get choked up and shit, but I miss you. Hope you're watching over us. See you again.